Hi, I am Dr. Arjuman Zaidi here. Welcome to my live page. I'll discuss about the social activism today. And first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I have done my post-graduation in geography from AMU and I have been awarded honorary degree of PhD from University of North America for my outstanding social work. And I am also doing a lot of social projects in India and abroad. First of all, we have 4 schools in Lucknow and we are imparting quality education to many students who are deprived of education and those who are not able to go to very high structured fees school, and there my mission is to give them quality education where these people are not able to take admissions in such schools, and we are imparting that kind of good education as compared to the other schools which are well known brands. So our brand is equally good and it has very low fee structure so that these people can afford and we can spread education throughout the country. That is the mission behind opening these schools, and we are doing it very well, and our students are going to different fields, different skills they are adopting and doing wonderful job. And at the same time, my mission is to create good human beings in my school, because ultimately these young minds should be activated as a good human being and do something good and outstanding for the society as their contribution. And these are the new generation, the coming up generation, and they have to be ignited for social activism. So I have various projects for this, and we are including our children also, our school children, and many other schools are associated to us, many universities are associated to us for various projects. At the moment, we are doing a very important project that is on human rights. There is a biggest organization in the world, the Youth for Human Rights International, and it has chapters all over the world, maybe in more than 100 countries. Every year we are increasing more chapters. We are associating with more countries as our members, and India chapter is led by me. I am the national president for Youth for Human Rights India, and here I am doing lots of activities. We have a big network, and in every state we have state directors, district heads, and many other post holders and lots of volunteers. And this year we have a plan to associate with us 1 million youth to do this wonderful job of promoting, educating and propagating human rights in our country. The main aim and objective of this project is to promote human rights as per United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. United Nations doesn't work directly for this kind of projects, this kind of training programs and promotion programs. So they are giving these programs to some good organizations, and this organization is based in USA, which is doing under United Nations. So the main aim is to make more and more awareness about these 30 human rights. This is a charter signed by all the countries of United Nations members, and this charter is mandatory for all the countries to follow. So obviously India is a very integral part of United Nations. So India has to follow all these 30 rights. Where we see in India every moment, everywhere, there is a violation of human rights, and we have to really stop it so that we can form peace and tolerance in our nation, and everyone can live their life as per their own wish and will. And so basic aim is to create and make these young minds ignited towards human rights and make a big army to make the country towards a right path. And the aim of this particular project will definitely bring a big change. If we work like that, the moment we are working at the moment, and the people like associating all the schools. We today, as in Dehradun, had a big presentation in Sunrise Academy. Then tomorrow we have in Wellams Boys. So all these children, they are having amazing feeling about human rights. They were not at all aware what are human rights. So class 6 onwards students, we are associating with them. They are becoming our members, and then we tell them, motivate them, and and aggravate their feelings towards the rightness, goodness and an active path of humanity. Our mission is to create humanity through human rights from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and I am sure within 5 years, if the way we are working, we will definitely give our country as a brand new India. So let's be united for this through human rights and do something greater job. So this is one of the project. Then I am doing a lot of work for environment. I have been awarded as an ambassador of human rights. I have got various awards from national and international organizations, agencies, and I have been awarded as a Best Educationist Award by World Education Forum in Bahrain. The Minister of Bahrain has felicitated me for that. I have also been awarded as Best Entrepreneur Award by the Government of India as under the scheme of Prime Minister Stand Up India, and various other Best Educators Award, Best Human Rights Educators Award, and by newspaper Awadnama, by newspaper Dainik Jagran, they have awarded me for my outstanding social work. So this is really amazing, you know, people are felicitating and people are acknowledging your good work, and this is what I want, that the youth of today should adopt this particular segment of education as side by side the activism, because it is very, very important. Whatever profession you have, whatever knowledge you have, that knowledge should be contributed a little bit towards the society for a humanity cause, and that has to be really activated among the young minds. That is my mission. Now I'll tell you what is social activism. Basically, social activism, I can't say as a profession, but it should be a passion. So whatever profession you want to adopt, maybe you want to become a doctor, maybe you want to become advocate, you want to become a professor, but if you are socially active, you will definitely do something good, some contribution to the society by your social activism, and that is all. Your mind is socially active. That means you are socially active person, and you really have some kind of thought process in your mind and in your heart. You have some kind of feelings that you really want to work for the society, for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of the poor, for the benefit of our nation. Suppose you are an educationist, and if you are giving little bit knowledge to those who are deprived of education, you are doing social activism. If you are working somewhere in a college and teaching, suppose a geography subject or any other subject, if you are teaching a geography subject, make your student aware fully about this environment protection, because that is the need of the hour. Every resource will finish what the next generation will do. So if you make and ignite the minds of your students that social activism is what you have to really be active socially, when you are doing something, keep that in mind that I have to do something which makes me an activist as a social person, and I am doing some contribution to the society of my working, my actions. That is what socialism is. So some people adopt this path as a profession also, like I am a social active person, I am having education as my dream, I have human rights as my tool to work. These 30 human rights are my best tools. So similarly, I am earning also and doing social work also at the same time. So every person, whomsoever, whatsoever education is taking, always keep that in mind, that little bit contribution as a citizen of this nation, you have to do as a social person also. So contribute and do that responsibility of yours. You can demand anything from government, from your department, from your workplace, but what you are giving in return to society, that you have to think. So that is what socialism is, that you really contribute little bit to the society, and towards the country you should have some passionate feelings. For this particular profession, what education is required. So the people who really want to take social activism as their own career and passion, and they really want to involve themselves in full-time work for this particular segment. So they have to take some education in that field, and there are various options available like BSW, Bachelor of Social Work, MSW, then we have law. Obviously in law you will cover all these litigation, then all kinds of human rights problems. Before doing any social activity, it is very important you should know the law of that particular place or the state or the city there, because ultimately law prevails, so we cannot violate the rules and regulations made by the government. We have to be pro-government and work with the government hand in hand with cooperation, so that we are not going to be in a problem later on. So we have to safeguard ourselves first, so that the most important activist should be safe, so that the country is getting some output from that person. So not to indulge in such activities which are conflicted, which are having controversies. So you should know the law a little bit. So obviously if you are a law graduate, you know each and every law. Suppose you want to fight a case of a violation of human rights, so what is the legality, you must know of it. And psychology, yeah, because psychology is the subject where you can understand the psyche of a human being, and you start learning the attitude and start learning the people's emotions and people's psyche. So it is very easy to understand and involve yourself in such kind of groups, and such kind of people can help you or not, that decision making you get out of it. That's really important to know people. Yeah, knowledge of culture, obviously that also it is important, what kind of culture you are indulging. Now let me tell you what are the skills required for social activism. As far as social activism is concerned, the most important skill is you should be passionate about it, your passion. If your passion is social activism, then only you can survive for a longer period, because there are lots of challenges in it, and if you are not from your heart and from your soul into it, sometimes it becomes a problem for you, and then you are disappointed. So we should be very passionate. We should know, we should have patience also, because sometimes when you go on the groundwork and you do the field work, there you find some kind of difficulties where people will not cooperate you at times. At times people are rough. So you should have that skill of patience, skill of tolerance, all these things are required for a social activism. You should have organizational skills also, so that you can organize events to make awareness. You can organize, programs where people are gathered, and you can have that capacity of convincing people also, so that you can associate more and more people with your mission, so that your mission is multiplying and prospering in a very fast pace, So then you get something, as an encouragement, that yes, what I am doing, people are appreciating, people are associating with me. It means I am doing something positive. Obviously the patriotism is the most important thing. If you really want to do something for your country, so obviously if you have that passion that yes, I want something should happen good in my country, if you have that kind of a feeling, so you will never do a wrong thing. You will always think for a positive thing, and always see what are the benefits for my country. So patriotism is very important. Awareness has to be done in a much better way, because what you are doing, if you are not telling others will not be motivated. Maybe if you do something small incident, and that is a very cute incident, maybe it's not a very large scale, but small things also motivate people, Even if you motivate in your vicinity, in your neighborhood, and people are aware that this particular person is doing such good job, so they also get motivated, and sometimes you invite them, and then this is how the network is being done. So basic networking is to be done, so that more and more people are into goodness. So our challenge is to convert bad things into good. So this is a big challenge, but it is very easy. If you motivate young minds, you know, that is our mission. Since childhood, we try to make, from class 6 onwards, we take students and then we ignite their mind that you have to adopt this path and you don't allow anyone to violate your human rights and don't violate anybody's human rights. If both these two students are not doing, if you divide the country into two halves, 50% here and 50% there, if these 50% are not violating the rights of the other 50%, they will not violate yours right. So nobody will do any harm to each other. This will be total peace and tolerance in the entire country. This year we have a mission of 1 million youth to associate with us, and this 1 million will be multiplied by another million next year. This is how we will ignite these minds, and then we have a big army, you know, to safeguard the rights of others, to safeguard the rights of their own, and to promote peace and tolerance in the entire country, and to show the world, yes, we are the promoters of peace and tolerance. And here we can set the example. The most important humanitarian in the world, Mahatma Gandhi, was found here, and he is the world's best humanitarian in the world. So we are from that kind of background. So why we are deteriorating now? So let's follow the path and do the same thing and become the most important nation in the entire world. Obviously, leadership skills are really important. You have to be a leader, then only you can lead others. So you should be very tolerant, you should be affectionate, and you should be a very good listener. What people are saying, sometimes people are not having any time to listen to other person. Maybe one volunteer has done a very good job and he comes to you, as I am a president, and if I don't acknowledge and if I don't listen to that person, what he wants to say and what he has done, he will be demoralized. So the leadership says you listen to the other person thoroughly, cooperate, tolerant you should be, and obviously loving, and you should be knowledgeable. So these skills have to be there with a leader. Yeah, in social activism, that is the most important, and you can say it's basically a negative aspect of it. But I don't consider it negative in the sense, like, you know, once you start doing something, it's really tough and challenging initially, but once you do something further and you go ahead, there are lots of people behind you. So at that moment, you know, you feel, yes, it was challenging, but now it is not challenging. So resources are very limited. You have to have that kind of, you know, resource management, that in the minimum resources you should do maximum. So this is what in one line I would like to say. एक शेर है उर्दू में, हम अकेले ही चले थे जानिबे मंजिल मगर लोग मिलते गए और कारवां बनता गया. So I started my own one person NGO, and then I am having millions of people behind me now. So this is what we have to do. Yeah, your communication skills also, you should have good communication skills, like you should be very polite and clear in your talks and thoughts and straightforward, and obviously minimum words, maximum communication. It should be like that. So it is always better, because sometimes, you know, one of my volunteer came and I told him that explain this thing to me and you have to go and give this demonstration somewhere. So he took around 20 minutes to explain some small thing. Then I told him, okay, this is what you told me. If I am going to give you 2 minutes to speak in front of Barack Obama, how will you speak this? So he got motivated and he did it in I think 8 minutes. So 20 minutes to 8 minutes is reduced in just one thought, that yes, you are speaking in front of Barack Obama, not Dr. Zaidi. So these kind of tactics you have to adopt to encourage and you know, motivate your volunteers. Today I gave this presentation in Sunrise Academy School in Dehradun, and there it was a mistake of mine. When there is a mistake, immediately acknowledge this mistake that I have done wrong and I want to rectify it. So 2 volunteers were there, one from Graphic Era University and one from ICFI University. They were with us in the presentation. I called them that you have to be there. So I forgot to introduce in my speech those 2 volunteers. So when I finished my presentation and we were leaving the auditorium, I just recalled, okay, this I did a mistake. So I went back. Luckily the children were not going out, they were just sitting. Immediately I went and I announced that I have done a mistake and I really want to acknowledge that mistake and say sorry in front of you, because that's the biggest mistake I have done today. And then I introduced them. These are my champions and they have done a lot of work as a social activist, and I forgot to acknowledge them. So this is how we have to do. So these guys felt so great that Zaidi ma'am has done and introduced us like that in such a great manner, you know. So I mean, you have to encourage your team. You have to really work as their own family, you know. If your child is there and if you have forgotten to introduce, how the child will feel. Same way I think about my volunteers. As a parent, I tell them that I am a captain of the team. I am not your boss, and every captain has to work in such a manner that the team is united and giving best performance. That is what my mission is. Now let me tell you what are the positives of social activism. When you come back home after doing something as a great job, you may understand definitely whether it is a small contribution or a big contribution. As per your capabilities and abilities, you will do. Obviously everyone has to earn for the livelihood, bread and butter. But a small thing every day, if we are doing as a social work, this gives a lot of satisfaction. And when you come back home, you are not into stress. You are very satisfied. You are very much at peace. And that is the only thing which will give you peace. So I have a request and I appeal to every countryman to do a little bit contribution towards the society. When you come back home, you will definitely be very happy and satisfied. And obviously, the more we have socially active people, socially ignited minds, so what else we need? We are in a win-win situation. We are qualified people who are earning with full legality as their own livelihood for their bread and butter, and they are having little bit time for their country, for the society as well. So definitely it is a win-win situation always. So everybody, every country is having this mandate that their citizens should be socially active, and obviously you are respected, your dignity is maintained in a way like you are supposed to be responsible and very gentle citizen, that you are obviously thinking about others most of the times. The whole day if you are thinking about something to contribute for others after your own job, that is the great thing you are doing. So this is amazing. Yes, challenges are really quite a bit. If you do some social work, you have to be sometimes caught in such a situation where you are harassed by some police or some departments. But finally, I realize if you are on a right path, you are the winner. So nobody can stop you for doing a good thing. Nobody. But yeah, challenges are there. You should not be disappointed by such things. These are small things and hurdles which come on the way and automatically start, flowing away from you. The moment you are more recognized, people know you in a way that you are such a good person, you are doing always a good thing, you cannot commit mistakes like that. So obviously you get respect, and then you are being listened, your words and voice becomes powerful, and people have to listen to you. In India, few things are really pathetic which we have to change. Though there are rules and regulations which are quite good for doing things, but there are some loopholes where people can play, and there are some good people and bad people everywhere. So always bad people try to do something to break laws, and those who are doing good things, they want to demoralize them, because they are going to have big problems if more and more good people are there. So obviously bad people will be saturated and will be cornered, and nobody is going to listen to them. So their businesses which are not on right track, their things and their activities which are not on right tracks, so obviously they will not feel good about what the good people are doing. But we have to really broaden our horizon. We have to think bigger. We have to think about our country, and we have to go long way. And if you are continuously doing and you are not tired of things, nobody can stop you and nobody can be a hindrance. Challenges are there. In everything, challenges are there. You have to win the challenges. I would discuss with you one of my days of life as a social activist. I get up at around 6:30 in the morning. I get ready. After my breakfast, I go to school. I sit over there. I have various projects to see. I have 2 secretaries. One was being shot, so I have appointed one more secretary, because these are my left and right hands, and they are champions of everything, which they are making my schedules, making my calls, making my appointments and everything, managing for me. And they are much smarter, maybe sometimes better than me, I can say. And they are making everything possible for me to happen. Only I am guiding them. So they manage my entire day, and as soon as I reach my office, I get the schedule of my day. And I have a special assistant for doing this human rights work, because it is expanding too fast, and it is being so big that one special person is required to coordinate with all the directors of all states. We have directors in every state, and they are doing activities, they are sending reports, so making reports, synchronizing with the people, coordinating with them. So they are doing on, then reporting with me, and all reports are being seen by me. And then there are lots of people in between. Parents have some problems, they come to me. Every parent who is getting admission, they want to meet at least once. We want to meet, ma'am, then only we'll take admission. This is the scenario. So you have to satisfy them also. Obviously somebody wants to meet me once and before the admission of the child, to safeguard the future of his or her ward. That is their basic right. I have to give that visit to them. So meeting so many parents, at times, the breakfast is gone, the lunch is gone, and then you finally reach home at 7 or 8, and then you have your dinner and lunch and everything common. So that kind of work I have, but I really enjoy, and I am so satisfied that I am doing something for my country. And I am being respected by so many leaders and so many people in the society. Everyone wants to honor, everyone wants to talk to me, to spend time with me. That's a great happiness what you are doing out. I am in Dehradun. The moment people are aware I am in Dehradun, everyone is giving me calls. You have to come to our school, to our university as a guest of honor. I was in Graphic Era University day before yesterday. Then I was guest of honor in a Uttarakhand Cricket League, which was organized here in Uttarakhand. Maybe around 20 teams are playing in that. So they invited me in the inaugural session as the guest of honor. So all these things are there. So you never know where it is going. When the day is finished, you don't know. It's very difficult to define the day. I think I have given a balanced overview, and it will be fruitful for the public to understand social activism. I am sure some people will be motivated by my talks, and I really want you guys to be ignited as social activists. This is a great job for our country. I hope it will benefit you and do something good for the society. Thank you very much for listening me.